Let me tell you about someone who just got promoted. She's thrilled. After 3 years of grinding, she finally landed that senior role. Her salary jumped from $55,000 to $70,000 a year. That's a $15,000 raise. On paper, she just became significantly wealthier. So she does what anyone would do. She moves to a nicer apartment, upgrades her car. She starts eating out more because, hey, she's earned it. Fast forward 6 months, she's working longer hours than ever. She's more stressed, and somehow she has less money in her bank account than before the promotion. She's making $70,000 a year and living paycheck to paycheck. If you've ever gotten a raise and wondered why nothing really changed, you're about to find out where that money went. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Your salary is a lie. Not that your employer is deceiving you, but the number on your offer letter bears almost no relationship to the money you actually get to keep. You see $70,000, you think you're earning $70,000, but let's follow the money. First, taxes. The federal government takes their cut, state government takes theirs. Social Security, Medicare, depending on where you live, you can lose 25 to 35% of your income before you see a dime. Let's be conservative and say 30%. Your $70,000 just became $49,000. You haven't spent anything yet, and you're already down 21 grand. But we're just getting started. You have to get to work, right? The average American commute is about 40 minutes round trip. Gas, insurance, maintenance, parking, the slow depreciation of your car. The IRS estimates this costs about 67 cents a mile. If you're commuting 20 miles a day, 5 days a week, that's about $7,000 just to get to the job that's supposedly paying you. Your $49,000 just became $42,000. Now, the professional tax. You can't show up to a corporate job in sweatpants. You need business casual clothes, maybe a few suits. Dry cleaning, professional haircuts. Let's be modest and say that costs $2,000 a year. We're at $40,000 now. Here's where it gets interesting. When you work a demanding job, you have no time or energy. You're not cooking as much, so you spend more on food. You're exhausted, so you're ordering delivery. You don't have time to clean, so maybe you hire someone. Studies show full-time workers spend about 30% more on these convenience services. For someone making $70,000, that's easily another $8,000 a year. We're now at $32,000. And we haven't even touched the psychological costs, the stress, the "I deserve this" purchases, the "I had a hard week" retail therapy. You pay for gym memberships you don't use, streaming services to numb out, weekend getaways to escape. You pick up the tab with friends because you're the one making good money. These exhaustion expenses? Easily another $5,000 a year. Your $70,000 job is now paying you $27,000. But wait. There's one more, the biggest cost of all, opportunity. When you're working 50, 60 hours a week, you don't have time to build a side business. You don't have energy to learn new skills. You don't have bandwidth to invest in yourself. You are trading your most valuable asset, your time, for a shrinking paycheck. That time could have been spent building something that generates money while you sleep. Let that sink in. You thought you were making $70,000. But after taxes, commuting, professional costs, convenience, and exhaustion, you're actually netting closer to $25,000 in real, usable, life-improving money. That's not a personal finance failure. That's the salary illusion, and almost everyone is living it.
You can make $200,000 a year and be completely broke, or you can make $80,000 a year and be building real wealth. How? The difference isn't the salary, it's the illusion. The wealthiest people aren't the ones with the highest paychecks. They're the ones who understand the difference between gross income and net freedom. So how do you escape the salary illusion? First, you have to understand the real math of your income. Stop looking at that big, shiny, gross salary and start looking at what actually hits your bank account after all the costs, the mandatory ones and the hidden ones. I mean, really calculate it, write it down, get brutally honest about where every dollar is actually going. Because once you see the real number, you can make real decisions. You might realize that a $70,000 job isn't actually better than a $50,000 remote job that saves you $7 grand a year in commuting and professional costs. Maybe working just a few fewer hours for slightly less money gives you the time to build something real on the side. Second, audit your convenience spending. Look, I'm not saying you have to live like a monk, but most of us have no idea how much we spend on convenience simply because we're too exhausted to care. So track it for 1 month. Every delivery fee, every cleaning service, every single meal you buy because you're too tired to cook, add it all up. The number will probably shock you. Then ask yourself a different question. What if you worked 1 less hour of overtime and used that hour to meal prep for the week? What if you said no to that 1 extra project and used the energy to clean your own apartment? You might just find that working a little less actually nets you more money because you stop hemorrhaging cash on pure exhaustion. Third, negotiate like your real salary depends on it, because it does. When you're up for your next raise or looking for a new job, don't just focus on the gross number. Think about the total package. Can you work remotely and save $7,000 on commuting? That's better than a $7,000 raise because you don't pay taxes on money you never spend. Can you get flexible hours and cut your convenience costs by $8,000? That's like getting a $10,000 raise after taxes. Smart companies are already offering this. Remote work, 4-day work weeks, not because they're generous, but because they've done the math. They know a focused employee who has their life together is more productive than a stressed out one working longer hours. And that brings us to the fourth and biggest step. Build income streams that don't have these hidden costs. The reason your $70,000 job really only pays you a fraction of that is because you're trading your time, your energy, and your freedom for that money. But what if you built an income that didn't require a commute, or expensive clothes, or drain you so much you need to spend thousands just to cope? This is freelancing, investing, building digital products, consulting. Every dollar of side income you generate keeps a much higher percentage than a dollar from your salary. The salary illusion isn't just about taxes. It's about all the invisible costs: the commute, the clothes, the convenience, the stress spending, the opportunity cost of your time. More money is good, but more money that you don't get to keep isn't wealth. It's just bigger numbers on a spreadsheet that don't change your actual life. So the question you need to ask yourself isn't how much am I making, it's how much am I keeping and what is it costing me to earn it? Once you understand that real math, everything changes. You stop chasing titles and you start chasing freedom. You start measuring success by the gap between what you earn and what you spend. And that gap, that's where wealth actually lives.